Hello, everyone. I'd like to discuss on the name Israel and its origins. In a society where is really confusing and no one seems to know of what is what, like what is a male, what is a female, all this other stuff. Um, I'd like to discuss about the name Israel and its origins. So we say Abraham, but his birth name was Abram. But yet, we don't go and say Abram. We always say Abraham. We give that respect and we follow that commandment, that order that God has given us. Now, Israel is Abraham's grandson. His birth name, everyone knows as Jacob. But when the father changed his name to Israel and said, "Thy name is no more Jacob, but Israel," this was a direct order. And it was not just an order for himself only, it was an order for everyone to know to call his name Israel. Then, once we go into Exodus 4:22, and by the way, that name change was in Genesis 32:28 and then also in 35:10 of Genesis. Now in Exodus 4:22, Moses is told by God to go onto the Pharaoh and tell the Pharaoh that Israel is the father's son, even his firstborn. Now, Israel, as Abraham's grandson, is long dead. So then the question comes down to, and this is what the church should really be talking about a lot, is okay, if Abraham's grandson, who is named Israel, is dead, whom of Israel are we talking about in the time of Moses in Egypt? It's very clear that the father, even later on in the Bible, says that anyone who is dubbed his children, who follow in faith and works, are called his children, Israel, are called by the name Israel. So it was not really just an individual person's name, even though it was meant for a greater understanding. It was anyone that follows by faith, as Abraham did, and anyone who follows in works, as Israel did. That we are all called children of Israel, who follow in his ways, regardless of skin color, regardless of culture. As long as we keep the faith of what the words of the prophets were, and we keep in working the commandments, what we're told to do in society, what we're told to do not because of just society, government, but just God's way of society. We have to stand up for what's right in His eyes, not just stand up for society, because society is not God and it's not always right. Now, to understand this name Israel too, we have to understand it's a surname, which means a last name. So we would understand that the people would be called the children of Israel. Therefore, Israel is a covenant name, a name that identifies between the Father himself and his people. So when we say children of Israel, we're identifying that we are descendants that hold on to a last name, which is Israel. So then Moses would have been Moses of Israel. Isaiah would have been Isaiah of Israel. Jesus would have been Jesus of Israel. Israel was always identified as a house name, as a last name. And it's very important we remember this because the meaning of Israel, the purpose of that name goes much deeper. But for now, we should remember the name Israel. Because it says in Psalms 83 verse 4, they have said, "Come, let's cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel is no more remembered." If you don't remember where you come from or who you are, then everything in society can be twisted each and every which way. And we are living in a very dangerous time where we don't know what history is almost. We don't know who to trust. And that's why the Bible should not be looked at as a religious book, but should be looked as a historical book. We don't say World War II is a religion, or you can either believe in it or not. No, we say World War II and such things as facts and historical. Then if the Bible has historical situations, historical characters, historical events, then we should understand it as a historical. Take care.